of our geospatial transportation group here in the firm. Um, Tim is based in North Carolina, and then Matt, I didn't even ask you before we hopped on the call. Where are you based?
I'm in Powhatan, Virginia, just west
Okay.
of Richmond. So.
Okay, cool. Well, we're really excited to have you both here today. Like I said, in the geospatial transportation group in the firm, these are the premier Esri Roads and Highways experts. Here to talk about a specific project and kind of an award that project won here most recently at the Esri User Conference earlier this year. So I'm going to let you both introduce yourselves, and then we'll get to talking about Henrico County. All
Sounds
right.
good.
Sounds good.
I guess I'm already talking, so I'll just keep rolling. Good to talk to you today. Tim Sheldon. I've been with Timmons Group just shy of 9 years now. I wear a lot of hats. I think my favorite hat is LRS and Roads and Highways subject matter expert. The project we're chatting about today, I did a little bit of project management work, a little bit of subject matter expert work, a little bit of cat herding, kind of across the board.
Yeah, and I'm Matt Franklin. I'm a technical analyst here at Timmons Group, specializing in LRS and roads and highways with Tim. He's taken me under his wing for the last 2.5 years and taught me a lot of what he knows, and I'm still trying to catch up, but it's been great so far. It's definitely one of my favorite parts about being in the Transportation Geospatial Group.
That's fantastic. Really glad to have you both here today. You both mentioned LRS. I have a little bit of background info on that because we actually met in advance to talking today to make sure we were all on the same page. But LRS stands for Linear Referencing System. Is that right?
You got it.
Okay.
Yep.
For the people in the back, can you explain that maybe in some layman's terms, kind of high level, what that means?
Sure thing. So my usual spiel, or a condensed version of it, I should say, LRS is pretty simple at its core. Think of it as an alternate way to describe the position of something on the surface of the Earth. And instead of using latitude and longitude, we're using a known linear feature and the distance along that known linear feature. So in our world in transportation, we're using a route ID. So unique identifier for some roadway feature. And then we're telling people, between 1 miles along the road and 1.5 miles along the road, you have grass shoulders or gravel shoulders. So that's one example of an event we're describing on the roadway. LRS is very scalable. So there's people that manage 1,000 miles of roadway. There's people that manage hundreds of thousands of miles of roadway inventory and descriptive information. So a Department of Transportation might have 60 or 70 groups of attributes that maintain of a roadway, or they may have two. It's kind of whatever they need to get their business done.
Awesome. It's a little more advanced than the directions you used to get from great Aunt Betty down the street that would say, oh, if you've gone a half a mile past the turnip truck, you've gone too far. It's more involved than that, is what I'm hearing from you.
It is a little bit, and the data we're creating, the work we're doing may be an input to the directions you're giving to Aunt Betty.
Love it. Absolutely. That's fantastic. So, you mentioned DOTs are using this Esri Roads and Highways software. We have a local municipality, local to, I'm based in Richmond, so I'm going to say local, but Henrico County is a local municipality in Central Virginia that has actually been one of the early adopters, you said, Tim, of the Esri Roads and Highways, this LRS system, to manage all of their assets throughout the county. It's really impressive because from what I understand, it's been a lot of really large organizations or larger companies or larger DOTs, like statewide DOTs that have previously used this. So tell us a little bit about Henrico County and kind of what this project is doing for them.
Sure. So I know I'm very excited to see local governments get more into this. I think it's a very powerful tool for inventory and maintenance. And this was specific to Department of Public Works at Henrico County. So just one of many departments that uses GIS. So Department of Public Works, say that 3 times fast, is gonna own this LRS and use it to kind of know where the roadways are, how many there are, the characteristics. Matt, maybe you could give us some nitty gritty on the lift.
Yeah, absolutely. Henrico County is one of 2 counties in Virginia that maintains and manages their own roadway system throughout the county. Every other county in Virginia has their roadways managed by VDOT. And because they manage their own roadways, they have to keep an exact inventory of their street assets, all the assets along the streets as well as the roads themselves. And they had done this historically for the last 30 to 40 years in a Excel spreadsheet, 7,300 lines roughly, describing segments of roadways. So Parham Road from Broad to Gaskins, et cetera, and describing the mileage along those. And so this lift for Henrico has been translating that spreadsheet into a linear referencing system, as Tim described earlier.
Wow. And that's about 1,400, miles of roads and highways just in Henrico County alone.
Yes. Yeah.
Wow.
It's a good bit. They are a large county.
Absolutely. And it's very impressive that they've taken to managing this on their own, with the help of Timmins Group's Esri Roads and Highways experts, like both of you. And from my understanding, you all took that information that was in that Excel, what was it, 7,300 lines, Matt?
Yes, ma'am. Yep.
Oh, my goodness. You all took that information, helped them kind of digest it, and then input it into this LRS system and are teaching them how to use it for the long term. So right now you all are still on the case, kind of walking through this process with their team.
Absolutely. We have a few analysts that are actually named users in their production environment. And so we are helping them make edits currently as they work to get it to the point where they're happy with it. And so we are kind of holding their hand and walking beside them as they move into this new way of tracking and maintaining their assets. And it's a whole new world. And so it's very exciting for everybody involved. Yeah, it's a good time.
Yeah, it's good. We've done this one. I guess you could call it several phases. So we did some early planning exercises, and Henrico is very hands-on. So they were been very involved in the whole process. So we would do kind of a planning and a data model and show it to Henrico and let them decide how much they wanted to do versus how much they wanted us to do. So we've kind of just gone back and forth over the course of the whole project. So we ended up helping them stand up the system in their environment. We did all of the data modeling in our environment. We did a lot of data loading, and like Matt suggested, now we're doing putting the final touches on the editing, I would say, to get it all current and live and ready to use for production.
Absolutely. That's fantastic. When's that production timeline? When do you expect them to be live fully?
I think we're aiming for mid-October, right, Matt? I think was the last schedule check.
Yep.
We had a small team there on site last week, digging through paper documentation, making sure the roadways, the length and the location of the roadways as approved legally match what's in the LRS. So that's a thing that a lot of people run into, is making sure everything's represented accurately. So best way to do that was roll up our sleeves and dig through some filing cabinets, I think.
Big cabinets.
Big
Wow.
cabinets.
Oh my goodness. Well, and one of the trickiest parts about GIS, kind of across the board, is that you can have all of these systems and processes, but unless that data is accurate, you're not getting anywhere with your project. So really glad that you all have that, that kind of gumption to go back through and make sure that everything is right all the way through. Yeah.
Thanks.
It's a big task. Well, so, I mentioned at the beginning of our discussion that this project was awarded a really unique award at the Esri User Conference. Was the User Conference, they have several conferences a year. So was this the one that was in June or July of this year?
This was July in San Diego. It's the Esri's big conference. Every year they do.
Yeah. Awesome. So I know that they did a handful of project awards, and congratulations to you both, because this award, in conjunction with your partners at Henrico County, was awarded the SAG Award, which is the Special Achievement in GIS. So very exciting. a round
Yeah.
of applause to you both and your teams.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We're
it's
super excited.
very, very cool. Very cool to win.
We got to meet Jack Dangerman, the guy who owns Esri. He's very tall.
I've also heard that he's just a fascinating person and a great connection and great networking to have with him. So
Yeah, he really is.
For sure. Yeah, it was good. There's a nice ceremony. I don't want to say small because there's a lot of people, but it's definitely a separate kind of awards presentation, I guess is probably the best way to say it. So, Jack came out and talked to us for a little while, and then everybody gets to meet him and shake his hand and receive the award. So that was fun. It's fun addition to an already really good conference.
Absolutely, and a fun addition to an already very successful project.
Yep, for sure.
That's great. Well, congratulations to you both. And I'm really excited to see and, well, hear more about what you all have coming in your pipeline to any other projects that we should keep an eye out for.
There's always something in the works. We also do some work with another council of governments, just basically lots of small governments working together for transportation planning purposes. Planning to add another project to the list first quarter next year, doing a similar work to this. I don't know if they're starting from a spreadsheet, but we'll see. We'll find out. That's part of it is learning what data they have as source data. There's always something in the pipeline.
And we have a current project in Arizona working with a bunch of those councils of governments as well, and several of them have expressed some interest in pursuing something along these lines to help them with their asset management. So
fantastic.
Very
We
excited.
love to hear that. Absolutely. Well, thank you both so much. And as our resident, Esri Roads and Highways experts, I'm going to extend the invitation for people to ask you questions in the comments of this video. And I will tag you both so that people can connect with you as well. It's a great resource to have that commenting tool on
Absolutely.
LinkedIn. So, well, thank you both, and congratulations again. What an exciting venture for everybody. And, excited, like I said, to hear what we have coming down the pipeline. So we'll keep in touch.
Absolutely.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.
All right, see ya.